Hello everyone. Updates have been very few and far between, I know, but do a bit of an update now, and I've got quite a lot done finally. The hardest bit's been starting work. If you've been watching the channel a long time, you'll know that I've had quite a lot of trouble trying to get things built and everything else, but pan the camera around. This is where we are now. I mean, we've got the electrics are all in, well, you can tell, wires hanging everywhere. And the room's being plastered now. We're just waiting for it, gotta wait for all this to dry. I'll go over it with some just white paint, like. Still got stuff everywhere. The floor's got to be leveled again because it wasn't done right, and we want it tiled. Or if we go like wood or tile, the floor's got to be absolutely spot on. We have a bit of a damp coming through there, so we've got to sort that out. This is got to be a fireplace here, and originally that was going to be an iguana tank, but it's going to come out to about where I am now, which is a good 8 foot or so, and it was going to be about this span here is, I can't remember what it is, 2.5, 3 foot, I can't remember, but basically it wasn't really going to work out because this is going to be a dining table, iguana tank, aquarium in the what will become now a dining room. And yeah, anyway, so that wasn't going to work out. So this is going to be a fireplace, log burner or what, I don't know really yet what's going on there. That's just bits of wood that I've decided I don't want to throw away. This is a fire I built that's bioethanol. And bioethanol is just this little burner inside there, and you fill it with this bioethanol and light it, and you don't need any like anything off your council or anything like that to say that you need it. You don't need any permission to use it. You don't need a flue or nothing like that. The only problem I found is that it does kick out a lot of heat. It definitely does. For this size room, like, it probably wouldn't be very good for a big room, to be honest, but this is about a medium size room, and it's probably good enough for this because obviously taking into account the heat from the house and everything as well. But yeah, so like different bioethanol fuels, some of them do release like a smell as they're burning, and it's quite unpleasant. You can get ones that smell like vanilla or coffee or pine trees and stuff like that, or you can get ones that just smell of nothing. I'd rather have nothing, but some of them, like I was using a few cheaper brands to start with, and they were pretty ghastly, so you definitely need to spend the money. But this ain't going to get used anymore. The one I built, I don't know what I'll do with it. You give it away or give it to someone or stamp on it or something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We've got all this stuff, all kinds of stuff. Coffee. Ooh, baby. So yeah, this is where we are. This bit of the wall hasn't been plastered yet, just because this window's coming out, the door over there is coming out, and basically the guy was like, if I take the door and the window out, the bits that I plastered around there, it's just going to wreck it. So to save that, what I've paid him so far, held a little bit back, and when he comes back to finish that, yeah, he'll plaster around that. He's going to take the door and the window out for nothing. I don't know whether we're going to reuse the door yet for the other building or not, but I'm thinking in this space here is going to be, I'm not 100%, but I know I'm going to have oak beams. You know, I've got a lot of oak around the house, and like, I think I might have oak here and oak across the top, same with the fireplace. But I'm thinking about having a maybe a weird shaped planted tank there, and the lights coming down from the top. Early days, to be honest with you, I've got a lot of other stuff that I'm trying to do first. So, like, again, if you've been watching for a long time, you'll know that I'm actually building 2 pretty substantial aquariums. I'm not 100% of the dimensions. I'm not 100% of the dimensions of both of them yet, but one of them is going to be somewhere in the region of 10 foot by 5 by 5 SBS, pretty massive. That's the aquarium's actually called the Black Gallery Aquarium. So I mean, if you wanted to have a look at reef to reef, I'll leave a link or something. You can have a look at that. It's going to be called the Black Gallery. So that tank will be known as the Black Gallery Aquarium. There'll also be things like my tarantula collection will be in there, frogs and stuff will be in there, maybe. Some species that I've always wanted to keep that now I've got the funding or the space or the knowledge or whatever, like Leachianus lizards and stuff like that. So a lot going on. Also, obviously, my Burmese pythons that you guys haven't seen yet, and my hog noses and corn snakes and royals and all sorts of stuff going on. And then there's the tank that's going in the house, which I haven't come up with a name yet. I was kind of thinking something like the Grand Aquarium or something like that, because it's going to be, although it's not going to be as big as the tank outside, it's going to be very high tech. I don't really know how to explain it. It's like my magnum opus, or whatever you want to call it. Like I want it to be my grandest thing. Like when people see, like, not in terms of just volume, but like, because you can see a nano aquarium and it can really take your breath away, and you can see a big fish tank and you can think, like, wow, that's done really shit. So it's going to be a lot smaller. It's still complete system. It's still going to be about 1,000 gallons. I think it's maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. I'm not 100% yet, like I say. So in the grand scheme of things, it's still a bloody massive aquarium. Like I'm a reasonably big person. I'm about 200 pounds, just over 200 pounds, and I know I'll be able to lie down in it and move around in it quite comfortably. So it's big enough for that, I suppose. Not that I'm going to make a habit of doing that. It's going to be a peninsula. I've got it in the head that I want a peninsula drop off. So yeah, I don't know what measurements to go with. I want the drop off to be substantial. Like I want it to be very clear that it's a drop off. You see a lot of these ones that are like half a foot and stuff, and it just doesn't, you know, for what it costs to do that extra work, it kind of seems like if you're gonna do it big. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the future anyway. I mean, it's taken 2 years, I think, to get this room nearly sorted. Through no fault of our own, we've been fucked around quite a lot. Like this whole room that you're seeing behind me has all been redone now. This is the second time it's been finished. It was all taken apart and all that, and the roof, everything was redone, and it was basically, we built this room twice. We've had two extensions, and that one outside that you've seen only a pad for and the foundations, that should have been done. That should have been finished in March 2018. So as I'm talking to you now about things I'm trying to do, we would have been, if things had gone the way they were supposed to, we would have been talking now about what fish I've got in that system, or what I'm trying to do with that system, or maybe at this point we would have had some reasonable sized SBS corals in there. I don't know. The main thing is that we're trying to sort it out now, so there's that to look forward to. So yeah, that's about everything with that. As for the Reefer 250, I've got a lot of stuff waiting to go on it. I've got Alcatronic, Dosetronic, the second the Mastertronic or Mastronic, I'm not sure what they call it. I think it's Mastertronic. Second that comes out, I'll have a pre-order on that, and I'll make sure I'll land it pretty quick. What else? I've got a Tunsey oscillator thing that's got to go on there. I'm wanting to fix up some T5 lighting on there and a bit of a floating canopy. Originally, when this room that we're in now was finished, I was going to move that tank. But I don't think, I'm trying to work out a way that that's not necessary, because I'm doing some of the work with my iguana at the minute where she won't be moved as soon as I was trying to originally move her. Or, because you can't move an aquarium so easily, but my iguana tank might be light enough for me to be able to just somehow move across the floor a little bit. So I might be able to move that one way, keep the tank, the Reef 250 where it is. Maybe we can go about it like that. The point being is that as soon as this room's got flooring on it and all that, and I can move my sofa and table and all that like in here, I'll have the space that I've always needed to actually work on that tank properly. I've got all my stuff, electrics and all that lot at the side of the tank you guys that have got aquariums, if you don't keep on top of your wiring and all that, you know how stupid it can get, you know, spaghetti junction and all that to the extreme. So yeah, once I actually start doing that, I'll probably do the whole calling it series 3 bollocks that I seem to like doing. I'll do that, and we'll do a tidy up, canopy or pumps, then canopy, alcatronic. We'll do them all in a set. They're each own separate. All this. A couple of months ago, I nearly bought something like 500 corals. Sorry, 500 corals. 500 quid's worth of a few corals. I'm glad I didn't do that, because in recent time I've been really ill. You know, it's another reason why we haven't had some of the updates. But not just that. I don't think the space exists. The way I've got some corals in there, I've got this one that I just can't get off the rock, and I've tried to get it off so I can move it somewhere else, so I can get more Millipora. But basically, I've got one type of coral here and another type of coral here that if they grow too big, they're going to fight. So I've got to watch that. So I can't also plant nothing in between them. So basically, I've not planned it out as well as I thought I planned it out. And some things are just too well attached to the rock, and I can't undo them. You know, something I want to move, I'll attach it to the rock really well and never be able to move it. Something I don't want to ever move, fall off every week, like a snail so much as looks at it and it'll come off, you know. So I reckon I can probably get 2 or 3 very nice branching SPS in there still, possibly. I'll maybe leave it at 2 and just get 2 that I really want, and be sure that they're going to be able to grow okay and all the rest of them. They've got plenty of space to swing their arms. And so I did buy a new fish. I don't know whether I showed you before. I will do an update on all this once everything's sorted. I've got that much stuff in front of the tank that I don't even want to entertain the idea of trying to get to it. I can feed them and I can change my skim, and that's about all I can do at the minute. So I did buy a new fish, and all the zoas that I had up the back of the tank, he's at all of those bar one type. I think I did do a video on this, you know. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put some SPS on the weir and see if they coat up the weir. I've tried it once before and it worked until I had a crash. So I'm going to try that again now that those kind of things aren't so likely, and see how we go. Maybe pink Cadillac, or some of the more mad Manticoras I think would be quite nice on there. Some of the nice encrusting ones, and do the same with the base. And that'll be all of that will just be the run up to going in the big tank. While this tank's while the Red Sea Reef is in its final phase, the possibly named Grand Tank will be being made. When that's ready, everything will go from this tank into that tank, and then the Red Sea can be sold or whatever, and you know, that's the end of that chapter kind of thing. So I think I've covered everything. If you've got any questions, please ask. If you want to know anything else that might have slipped my mind, or any, you know, what, maybe you do this, maybe you should do that, oh, maybe it'd be cool to see so and so, let me know. If you don't want to ask on here, go on Reef to Reef and look up the Black Gallery Aquarium. I don't really care if you ask me questions about the Red Sea on there or anything like that. So yeah, I'm back in the gym now as well, so I know I look like shit. I've been really ill. I look bad at the best of times, but extra at the minute. But I'm back in the gym, and I think I'm going to try in these next 2 years. I'm going to see really what I can do physically. See how much I can grow, see how much my body will let me grow. It was really hard to get to finish last year over 200 pounds, which was my goal. And I had a bad start to last year as well, so it's kind of similar to this year. But like I say, I'm gonna go for it alpha leather, ease myself into it, and then go ape shit. Right, all the best, gang. See you on the next one.